Welcome to the show. A movie dating back more than 30 years undergoes a nip and tuck and lands on Broadway. Revitalized, it's bubbling over with humor, music, and it just picked up a Tony for Paul Tazwell's gorgeous costumes. Let's take a look at Death Becomes Her.
Drink that potion, and you'll never grow even one day older.
Bottoms up.
It's a beauty secret exposed in the 1992 movie Death Becomes Her. The dark comedy starred Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn, and at the time it offered a little regenerative boost to box office sales. Now, more than 2 decades later, it's been revitalized for the Broadway stage, and it's causing some laugh lines.
We should do this again. How's next week? How's next year?
The show stars Tony nominees Megan Hilty as Broadway star Madeline Ashton and Jennifer Simard as her longtime friend and rival, writer Helen Sharp. Who is Megan Hilty's Madeline
Well,
Ashton?
she is my Madeline. She's not the Madeline from the movie. Nobody can recreate Miss Meryl Streep's epic performance.
Speaking of Meryl, you heard from Meryl on your opening night.
I did. I received the most beautiful arrangement of dried flowers, which is so great because they're dead, but they'll be alive forever. And there was this little note that said, break a leg or I'll break it for you. With dried and undying love and respect, Meryl. I died. I almost hit the floor when those came into my dressing room. And I will keep them forever. It's the same, in its roots, it's the same character. I mean, we have an actress of a certain age who's grappling with her looks fading. In our version, she's at the height of her career. It is the most epic, wonderful, and I think it's great because she has more of a fall. She has more of a place to go to during the course of the show. Even when she's doing this amazing show, she's still kind of unfulfilled. And it isn't until Helen shows up that you see that there's like a spark. There's something about Helen that makes her come alive.
Are you having fun up on stage?
Yeah, absolutely. Megan and I have to stop ourselves sometimes from laughing. We just look at each other and talk with our eyes, and you can see when we want to giggle, but we don't. Helen Sharp is one of a duo, a love story, if you will, between herself and Madeline Ashton. Helen Sharp is someone I identify with. I think she's the every woman, the other woman. We all know what it feels like to be rejected or pushed aside or be second banana, and a bit of the wallpaper person.
The two of you, Megan, your co-star, and you go on this crazy ride. How do you build up the stamina to do that 8 times a week, Jennifer?
It's an art in and of itself. I've always said the show backstage is probably just as interesting as the show on stage. So it's an enormous amount of self-care. I have vocal therapy once a week because when you sing the same thing over and over and over again, imagine lifting weights at a gym. They always say skip a day when you work the same body part. Well, we don't get that luxury.
I have a physical therapist, I have a physical trainer, I get IV treatments every week. I have a vocal therapist and a voice teacher. It's the most intense work I have ever done and will ever do in my life. This is it. This is it. But I do it joyfully. I mean, I do it because I love this show so much, and it's worth I'm dealing with tendinitis in my throat right now. Did you know that was a thing?
I did not.
It's a thing.
The talented cast also includes Destiny's Child alum, Michelle Williams. You've gone on record saying that you were worried about coming back to Broadway.
It feels great. And I was saying how Broadway is so isolating. Not in a negative way, it's just how I preserve myself to do 8 shows a week. For Once on This Island, I think at that time I overcommitted myself to so much stuff. I didn't know how to say no, I was afraid to say no. I thought I'd be seen as a loser or weak if I say, yo, I need some time. My priority is my vocal health during this show and what I believe I owe people that swipe that card when they buy that ticket. My priority is to make sure I'm as healthy as possible.
You open this show and you wear the most exquisite outfit as you come up from the stage. First off, how much does that weigh? And what's it like wearing a Paul Tazewell dress?
Paul Tazewell doesn't know that when I'm done, I'm taking my gown. I have to take something from an Academy Award winner. To answer the first question, the original coat was 20 some odd pounds. I think this coat still is in the area.
I was at your opening night, and I was sitting on the aisle, and on the aisle right next to me was Beyonce and her family.
To see them out there, I was like, I'm okay. You know, to have people there to support you means a lot.
You're finished, Manville, damn it.
Keeping up with 3 leading ladies is no small task. Actor Christopher Sieber says he quickly learned to stay out of the way.
Ernest is just stuck in the middle of these 2 powerful, incredible women. And so you have to really surrender yourself to that. But I think the one thing about the show that is so funny is you can't take it seriously. And it's so campy and it's so unbelievably absurd that the camp factor is so high that you just roll with it. If you've seen the movie, it's great. You don't have to see the movie to see it. But it's an absurd story. But it's also about 2 friends who are just constantly trying to one-up each other.
At the heart of this, it's a love story. Me and Jen have had to fight a lot of narratives of us. Like, a lot of people want to see us physically trying to tear each other apart, and we're like, no, that's not what our story is. These 2 need each other. That's what I love about it. It takes them a little winding road to figure it out, but that's what makes this story so great. It's unique.
Jennifer, what do you want to take away from this experience?
We all have journeys, right? Aren't we all on a journey? Well, journeys come with a lot of joy and they come with a lot of pain. And I've always used art to express wherever I am in life. So every part of Helen feels like something I've done in my life, so it feels like a bit of a bookend in a way.
All I will walk away with from this experience is profound gratitude that I was allowed to do this. You know, they could have chosen anybody to come and do this. And I feel remarkably grateful to be the one to get to build Madeline.
And thank you to The View, Sardi's, and Tempo by Hilton Times Square for hosting us. And if you go to see the show in the coming weeks, Megan Hilty is currently out of the show due to a vocal injury. We wish Megan a speedy recovery. Megan is expected to return on July 8th. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. For more premiere theater coverage and exclusive interviews, click the subscribe button. You can also download the Spectrum News app or watch us on TV for the latest information, balanced coverage, weather updates every 10 minutes, and more. We'll see you there.